Hello Simmers, we're back, some more Cocytus River Rats franchise mode in FHM 11, and in this one we have the start of year number 4 offseason, I believe, heading into year number 5. Obviously there's still a lot of work to do with this team, but we are coming along pretty nicely. You have Gavin McKenna, of course, and Luciano Ruggiero, who are both at 5-star potentials. You have Hermanson and Stenberg, 4-star potentials now, Bouchard and Cody Yarvi and Denoye. So we're looking good. We're looking much better than we were, obviously, when we started, but we still have quite a bit of building to do, as this team is still quite a ways away from being competitive. And we do not have any more signings to do in this offseason. All you have is Jonathan Blum, who is 39 years of age, 1-star ability. He was basically just here to fill out the cap. And we do not have any prospects that need to be signed currently, so let's advance straight to the last day of 2027-28. And here's our season summary for year number 4. We met our objective. We did not finish last, and we did not have a winning percentage lower than 400. And our longevity bonus is 3. Total season score 15. Total career score so far of 37. I'll put all points into negotiating the skill. All right, here we are at the draft lottery. We have the 7th pick currently, so let's see what the order is. You have Carolina at number 17, followed by Ottawa, Philly, Anaheim, Columbus, Detroit. So Carolina moves up. Colorado, Chicago, Tampa, and at number 8 will be your Cocytus River Rats. Number 7 will be the Rangers. Then you have San Jose, St. Louis, Washington, Calgary, and at number 2 will be Carolina, and the New York Islanders get the first overall pick. All right, here we are at the draft. And one thing that I want to point out before we get started here with this draft is that due to how heavily this series is going to depend on our drafting, I've been looking up exactly what to look for, particularly in depth players. So players who would get, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round. And I've noticed that the more positive things that are listed in their strengths and weaknesses category, the more likely it is that they will probably be an NHL player. Now, obviously, that's combined with their scouting ability and potential, their scouting grade, and all of that. But I'm looking at Casper Nordahl here because one of his strengths is the strongest part of his game is his intangibles. That's really important for depth players panning out. Supposedly, that's what I've read. So we're going to give that a try. Obviously, I'm not going to be picking Nordahl with our first round pick, right? He's a 2.5-star potential, half-star ability. But those are the kinds of players that you want to look out for, specifically in the mid to later rounds of the draft. So let's get right into it. Up to pick number 8. Let's see who's available for us. So, oh, wow. Casper Nordahl goes 6th overall. So maybe there's something to it. Maybe there's something to what I was saying about intangibles, right? I mean, of course, he was ranked at number 65, but here he is taken at number 6. So again, maybe there's something to be said for that. I mean, Marcel Michler, the 4.5-star potential goaltender, is available for us at number 8. And he does have that intangibles attribute. But then again, I think most goaltenders do, if I'm not mistaken. So let's take a look at goaltenders here and just see. Yeah, he has intangibles. He has intangibles. Yeah, I think most goaltenders have the intangibles here. Yeah. Like it's been every single one of them so far. So, yeah, I mean, that's not really, I guess, something to focus on for goaltenders. But for skaters, absolutely. It seems like it's something that you want to consider. However, there's also Milo Spelkvist, who's already a 2-star ability and a 3.5-star potential with the 4-star consensus potential. 15 faceoffs. I mean, his defensive category isn't great for the most part, but very good physically already. Mental ratings are solid. Offensive ratings already basically NHL ready. He had 42 points last year in the SHL. Let's take a look at his strengths and weaknesses and his personality. Yeah, he's got a great personality. Strongest part of his game is skating, fantastic vision and ability to read the play, good skater, above average strength. Weakest part is defensive play. Yeah, I mean, we kind of figured that. Still, he's a solid choice at pick number 8 for us. I mean, he's ranked at number 9. We're not far off from that. I mean, we're basically right there. And then there's also Franz Karjalainen, who's a 1.5-star ability, 3-star potential. And he was apparently supposed to go number 2. Strongest part of his game is playmaking ability, fantastic vision and ability to read a play, above average skater and above average stamina. Weakest part is his physical play. None of his weaknesses are a serious liability. Okay. I mean, he's another solid choice. But would I take him over Spelkvist? And I'm thinking it's going to be one of the forwards. Goaltenders are just so unpredictable that I really don't feel like potentially wasting my first round pick on a goaltender who may or may not play well, So I think it's going to be either Spelkvist or Karjalainen. Yeah, I think it's got to be Spelkvist. He's just so much better. overall right now. I mean, I think Karjalainen will be a great player as well, but Spelkvist is already, like, he's basically NHL ready right now. What's worth noting about Karjalainen, though, is that he has durable injury tendencies, so he's not going to be, or you wouldn't think he'd be injured as much as Spelkvist would be with that normal injury tendency. Honestly, I don't think you could go wrong here. Yeah, I think I'll take Spelkvist. I like where his mental category is at already, especially with that 16 determination, and just he's overall clearly much better than Karjalainen is right now. But like I said, I don't think you could go wrong with either of these two. And you know what? If Karjalainen is still somehow available in the second round, then I would absolutely love that. But Spelkvist will be the pick here. Welcome to the Cocytus River Rats, Milos Spelkvist. All right, let's simulate ahead and see what we have in the second round. And it looks like Karjalainen was taken. Yep, and Mischler was taken at 15th overall. He went to the Flyers. Yep, Karjalainen went 18th overall to Colorado. And I think with this pick, I'll be taking Roman Andreev. He is a 1-star ability already, 2.5-star potential. Some pretty good offensive ratings. Puck handling's at 17, passing's at 16. Then if we take a look at his strengths and weaknesses, there's a lot of positive stuff about him here. Strongest part of his game is playmaking ability, above average skater. He's capable of handling heavy minutes, and he has decent on-ice vision and reads the play well most of the time. So Roman Andreev, welcome to the Cocytus River Rats. And I think starting in the third round is when we're going to be taking these guys who have the intangibles on their strengths and weaknesses. So what I'm going to do is I will circle back on Colton and Kandata. Unfortunately, it seems that these draft picks are all for 2029. I was hoping to get some picks for this draft, so I'm going to see if I can do that manually here. All right, I think I found a way to make something work here for Kandata. It does involve trading for Jacob Trouba from LA, but he's only a 1.5-star ability, and he is 34 years of age, making 3.3 on his cap hit. That's a terrible contract for a player of his ability. The game even says so. So his role in this deal is purely to be cap filler. And then we also get a 4th and a 6th for this year for Kandata. So that's more than we would have gotten from him from the shopping page. So we'll off this trade to LA. Finalized trade. There it is. All right. I unfortunately cannot find a trade for Colton for a draft pick for this year. So I think we're just going to skip ahead to the third round here. All right. We're at pick 73. There are 4 players available for us that are currently on my draft list, and all of them have the intangibles as a strength. So there's Kyle Myers, Nikita Baranov, Adam Anderson, and Elias Kravanik. Honestly, I like Kravanik. I know he only has a 2-star ability, or a 2-star potential rather, but he has a lot of strengths for only being a 2-star potential. He's got the intangibles. He has terrific hockey sense. He just knows where his teammates are at all times on the ice. He's a little stronger than most players. He has above average stamina. Of course, he does have trouble scoring goals, but that's not an issue for a defenseman. I would imagine he's defensive defenseman, correct? Yeah. So I know he's the lowest potential out of all these guys, but I really like how he's looking here, especially with that 16 positioning already. So Elias Kravanik, welcome to the Cocytus River Rats. And on to pick 106 now. There's one player left on the draft list, Adam Anderson. He is a 2.5-star potential, 1/2-star ability. He's a ways away from the NHL. I like his personality. His strengths and weaknesses look good. He's got the intangibles. He's got the physical strength above average, decent stamina, pretty good vision on the ice as well. However, it does look like he's going to struggle with goal scoring. But you know what? As long as he can turn out to be a solid, third or fourth line checker, that is all I care about here. So Adam Anderson, welcome to the team. All right, we're at pick number 110 now. I don't think there's any more players on our draft list. No, there's not. So I think we're just going to take the highest potential here. Probably Frederick Larson. Yeah, he's got a good player report here. His personality is good. Strengths and weaknesses. I mean, even the weakest part of his game is still relatively strong. So I think we should take Frederick Larson here. Welcome to the Cocytus River Rats, Frederick Larson. And pick number 116 now. I like Jan Pakier here. Good personality. Strengths and weaknesses are pretty good. The weakest part of his game is his physical play, but none of his weaknesses are a serious liability, so that's good. Strongest part of his game is his playmaking ability. He has decent on-ice vision. He's a workhorse. He is fairly durable. He's a little stronger than most players. His skating ability is a positive. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't take him. Welcome to the Cocytus River Rats, Jan Pakier. All right, pick 127 now. I think we'll be taking Vladimir Lavrov here. Good personality. He's got a few good strengths in there with his skating, his ability to read the play, and his above average stamina. So we'll be taking him with this pick. Welcome to the Cocytus River Rats. All right, pick 139. I think I'll take Linus Frank here. He's got the intangibles. He has above average strength, very good stamina, pretty good vision on the ice, and his skating ability is a positive. Unfortunately, he's not great with goal scoring, but that's all right. His personality is good. So now if I could just find him again. Where is he? There he is. Linus Frank. Welcome to the Cocytus River Rats. And on to pick 172 now. We're in the 6th round. And I think we'll be taking a goaltender here. Philip Hudrich. Welcome to the Cocytus River Rats. All right, pick 184. Let's see who's available. All right, here's one. Adam Menhart. Strongest part of his game is his intangibles. Fairly strong player. Handles a lot of playing time. Good skater. Decent on-ice vision. Weakest part of his game is his goal scoring ability. That's as a defenseman, though. And he does tend to get hurt a little bit more than average. But overall, it seems like a solid pick. So Adam Menhart, welcome to the Cocytus River Rats. And on to the 7th round now. This is our last pick, 205. And I like Dmitry Tokmakov here. Strongest part of his game, once again, intangibles. Physical strength is above average. He can handle a lot of playing time. He's a good skater, and he has a pretty good ability to read the play. So Dmitry Tokmakov, welcome to the Cocytus River Rats. And that should just about do it for this draft. Now, of course, we are going to sign some of our players. However, we already have 44 contracts. So maximum of 6 prospects signed out of this draft class, at least right now. So obviously that's going to be Spelkvist and Andreev as well. Then I think we'll get the defenseman in here in Tokmakov and Krivenek. Let's go with Lavrov. And then I think I'll leave the last contract slot open. And inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame this year are Doug Waite, Sergei Gonchar, Patrice Bergeron, and Matthew Schneider. Ooh, we did not have a very good prospects tournament here. We won 1 game against St. Louis, but that's about it. We had a 6-0 loss against Montreal, 3-2 loss against Florida with goals scored by Frank and Spelkvist, a 4-2 loss against Pittsburgh with goals scored by Frollo and Frollo once again, a 4-2 loss against Carolina with goals by Anisimowicz and Frollo, and then in the 6-3 win against St. Louis, you have goals by Andreev again, Frollo, Kindell, Neuenschwander, and Wotherspoon. Whoa, look at the growth Andreev added. He grew in basically seems like every category there. All right, so we're towards the end of the preseason here. Let's see who we're cutting from this roster. You have Lindgren and Ruggiero in goal. On defense, I will send down Truba. I will send down Kjellberg. I will send down Krivanek. I will send down Barton and Tokmakov. So that should be 7 right there. Yes, indeed. And then at forward, I will send down Lavrov, Russo, Reber, Cini. Then I think I'll actually send down Gardner and Lawton. Make some room for the young guys here on this team. I will also send down Fogel, then one more. I think that'll be Grunstrom. So there you go. We have a team of 23 now. Of course, we do have to get above the cap floor. So I think I'll sign Nolan Zajac here. 10.7 for 1 year. And he, what? Oh, he wants the bonuses. That's what he wants. Yeah, okay. Still, that was really funny. Seeing a player decline 10 million. I was like, what? You just declined 10 mil? How do you just decline 10 mil like that? And he will be going to Frozen Creek as well. So there you go. We're now at 23 players and above the cap floor. So I believe we are ready to go into year number 5. Actually, before we move on, there are a couple of moves that I want to make here. So first off, I'm going to call up Nicholas Anisimowicz. He's 22 years of age, 2.5-star ability now. So he should be NHL ready, but his defensive category is kind of not great. So we'll see how he simulates. And if he doesn't simulate the way I expect him to as an NHL level player, then we'll probably be shopping him at some point. So Anisimowicz, get up here. And then I'll be sending down Andreev, the 18-year-old. He's still got plenty of time, so he will go back to the MHL. Next, we're actually going to be making a trade with the Vancouver Canucks, who are in need of a goaltender. And we're going to be trading them Samuel Carreras-Pata, who is 22 years of age, only a 1/2-star ability, 3.5-star potential. So I don't want that potential to go to waste. So I prefer to flip Carreras-Pata for a draft pick here. We're going to be getting a 2nd-round pick back from the Vancouver Canucks. And this is the deal. So Samuel Carreras-Pata in exchange for a 2nd-round pick in this year's draft, offer trade. And then one other thing I was considering, to be honest with you, is shopping Luciano Ruggiero. And here's why. He is a 1.5-star ability, 4.5-star potential at 22 years of age. I mean, yeah, he's been a great simulator so far in his career. A 915 save percentage 2 years ago, and then a 913 last year. But only being that 1.5-star ability, and where we're at right now as a franchise, and having that kind of potential, we could get something really good back for that 4.5-star potential. And especially given the fact that he's already 22, I don't know if he's going to hit that 4.5-star potential, right? So if we could get that 1st-round pick back for him, which it looks like there's a lot of takers for Luciano Ruggiero for a 1st-round pick. So that's something I'm strongly considering here, especially in a draft like that. Yeah, this draft is actually pretty good, especially considering this is still a draft where, you know, there's real players involved. I think this is something we should do. I mean, if the circumstances were different, like if we were competitive, then I would absolutely be holding on to Luciano Ruggiero, but we can get a first round pick back for him. And that's pretty enticing right about now, especially with how good the draft is. And also considering how often goaltenders are in the draft, especially in the later years where they're, you know, most of the players are generated. Yeah, I think we got to do this. As good as he's been, I think this would be really good for us. This would be really good for this team and for the future. I mean, San Jose's record has not been great so far during the entire simulation. 29 wins in year number 1, 33 year number 2, 35 the next year, and then 32 this past season. So yeah, it's either San Jose or the Islanders for sure. And just given the fact that the Islanders have been getting worse every year, yeah, I think it's got to be the Islanders. So Luciano Ruggiero to the New York Islanders in exchange for a 2029. Oh, well, it's a good thing I noticed that before I clicked accept offer, because it turns out the Islanders were actually offering a second. It appears I was seeing all those first, and this, I guess I just assumed that the Islanders were offering a first as well. No, apparently they're only offering a second. So I guess that narrows it down. That makes it easier. And we'll be trading Luciano Ruggiero to the San Jose Sharks, who are indeed offering a first round pick. Accept that offer. There you go. And with that, we're going to have to call up a goaltender here. And I think that's going to be either Frolov or Katachev. And I think Frolov is a bit more adjusted to the North American ice at this point. He's been in the AHL for 3 years, whereas Katachev just came over last year. So we'll get Frolov up here. All right. So with that being done, this is our roster heading into year number 5. You have Lindgren and Frolov in goal. On defense, you have Bouchard, Kotijarvi, Välimäki, Perbix, Romanov, Hakanson, and Elofsson. And at forward, you have McKenna, Colton, Stenberg, Novak, Hermanson, Anisimowicz, Amadio, Vananen, Spelkvist, Murnieks, Wotherspoon, Denoye, Gastrin, and Frollo. And so with that done, I think we will get underway with the simulation of year number 5. Oh, right. And then, of course, we have to complete the trade from Vancouver. So you have Samuel Carreras-Pata in exchange for a second-round pick from Vancouver. Complete trade. All right. So at the trade deadline of year number 5, we're 28, 31, and 9. And Gavin McKenna is up for renewal this year. We're going to renew his contract right now. Before we do anything else, he wants 5.5 for 3 years. I will give him a little bit less. I'll see how far I can take him down. And I got him down to 5.1 for 3 years. I think it's a good deal for him. Then I'm also going to re-sign Colton, who wants 3.4 for 2 years. I think that's a pretty good deal for him as well. And then Anisimowicz, he wants 1.4. I think I already submitted that to him. And then all you have remaining, as far as NHL players go anyway, are Välimäki, Amadio, and then Lindgren I actually sent down in favor of Katachev to get him some playing time, because Frolov this year has been doing fantastic. In 49 games played, he has a .921 save percentage. So I don't know what it is about these goalies in this save file, but they're pretty good so far. So I suppose I will re-sign Välimäki, not for 3 years though. I'll give him 2. And then I'll also re-sign Amadio. He wants 3.1 for 2 years. I'll give him just that. And then some more good news here is that San Jose, who of course we got their first round pick, currently 24th in the league. So we're going to have 2 lottery picks this year, it looks like. Ooh. Kotijarvi down for 2-3 weeks. And I think that'll just about be the rest of the season as we are in late March here. And we have finished the year 5 simulation with a record of 35, 37, and 10, which is good enough for 10th in the Beings division and 26th in the league. So about where we've been for the past 5 years. However, the difference is that we are, of course, starting to get our drafted prospects on our team who are getting better as time goes on. So let's take a look at the player stats to end off the season. In 54 games played for Frolov, you have a .919 save percentage and 3 shutouts. And Lindgren in 23 games played had an .895 save percentage, so that's why I set him down. And then Katachev in 9 games played has a .929 save percentage. So the rookie goaltender's proven to be very effective so far, despite only being 1.5 star and then 1 star talent respectively. Then on defense, you have Bouchard leading the way with 54 points. He's up to a 3-star ability now. Then Kotijarvi with 47 points, Perbix with 34, Romanov with 29, Välimäki with 25, Elofsson with 23, Hakansen with 7, then Truba played 10 games and had 3 points this season. And then forward, you have McKenna leading the way with 63 points, Vananen with 55, Denoye with 50, Hermanson with 49, that's a good rookie season for Hermanson, Colton with 47, Anisimowicz with 39, Amadio with 38, Novak with 36, Gastrin and Stenberg with 24, Murnix with 23, Spelkvist with 17 in 55 games played, Wotherspoon with 11, and Frollo with 1 in 37. So that will advance and see who wins the Stanley Cup in year number 5. And the 2028-29 Stanley Cup champions are the Montreal Canadiens. They went through the Colorado Avalanche, the New Jersey Devils, the Vancouver Canucks, and the Florida Panthers. There you go. That ends their streak. 1993 was the last time they won the Stanley Cup, and they finally have number 25. And here we are at the NHL Awards. For the Ted Lindsay and Art Ross, it was, of course, none other than Connor McDavid, 115 points this year, 38 goals, 77 assists. For the Maurice Richard, it is Austin Matthews with 53 goals, 55 assists for 108 points. For the Lady Byng, it is Elias Pettersson with 34 goals, 65 assists, and 99 points. For the Bill Masterton is Nikita Kucherov, now 36 years of age, who had 30 goals and 43 assists for 73 points this year. For the Mark Messier Leadership Award, it is Alexander Nikishin of Detroit, who is not their captain. And in fact, last year he was in the AHL. And this year he had 18 points in 76 games played for Detroit. And the Jennings Trophy goes to Quentin Miller of Montreal with the 909 save percentage in 64 games played. And now for the Hart between McDavid, Bedard, and Matthews, it is McDavid. For the Conn Smythe, it is Cole Caulfield of Montreal with 31 points in 25 games played. Then for the Calder between Trevor Connolly, Elton Hermanson, and Adam Gagin is Elton Hermanson of your Cocytus River Rats. Very nice. For the Norris Trophy between Roman Josi, Charlie McAvoy, and Evan Bouchard, it is Evan Bouchard of Edmonton, 82 points in 82 games played. For the Selke between Nick Suzuki, Barrett Hayton, and Alexei Toropchenko, it is Alexei Toropchenko of Florida with 31 points. For the Vezina between Sam Montembeault, Thomas Milik, and Ilya Sorokin, it is Ilya Sorokin of Toronto with a 925 save percentage and 5 shutouts in 53 games played. GM of the Year between Kyle Davidson, Brian McClellan, and Brad Treliving, it is Brian McClellan of Washington. And for the Jack Adams, I'm going to get out of the way for this one. Between Anders Sorensen, Martin St. Louis, and Craig Berube, it is Craig Berube of Toronto. And with year number 5 in the books, I think it's about time to wrap this one up here. But not, of course, before I thank the channel members. Thank you guys so much for all your support. And I will see you guys in the next one, where we go through year number 6 with your Cocytus River Rats.